Yeah, so I was just, getting ready for the championship game. Actually, we were getting ready. I was going to go get the team some Gatorade. I do that every game. And getting ready to go out the door, and I heard rapid gunfire. And I thought it was gunfire. I yelled down to my husband, I think I just heard a gun. And he said, no, I think it's construction. And I still wasn't sure. Shortly thereafter, I started to hear police sirens, and my husband had more gunshots. And so I hollered for the kids. There were 3 kids in the house at the time. Kenny had already left for the game. But I yelled for them to get to the basement, and I just started locking all of our doors, front door, back door, got everybody downstairs. It sounded like the shooter was on the street. And I peeked out the window, and I could see several police cars, at least 4 or 5, with officers hiding behind their cars and guns drawn pointed towards the Tree of Life Synagogue across the street. So we went downstairs. Shortly thereafter, there were SWAT that banged on our back door and entered our house and said, we're using your second floor, and ran upstairs to our second floor bedroom. Our windows face the Tree of Life, and they used our windows for their snipers. So they positioned their sniper guns right from our bedroom windows. And so that went on. The kids were with me in the basement. We could hear several rounds firing, and police yelling, and military personnel were showing up. And my husband was fortunate to be able to be with the police and get the play-by-play from the police radio. So they knew that, how many people were injured police-wise, and as the victim started to, become known. And then he was able to hear when they were about to apprehend the gentleman who was doing all of this. I guess he's not a gentleman, but the guy. And so that was pretty much it. We just were, I want to say it was a good hour and a half. We were in the basement, and then the rest of the afternoon we were shut into our home and not allowed to leave. And actually they're all still out there at this late hour. So it's been a really unfortunate day for our Squirrel Hill, for our community. And I'm sure you heard the game was canceled, as it should be. So many of our friends and neighbors were directly involved in this. So it was pretty terrible. But we do have a front row seat to the whole thing.
When you first heard the gunshots, were they like rapid fire? Did it sound like automatic, or what
Totally.
did it sound like?
Yeah, I've never, I often question whether or not if I heard an automatic weapon, if I would know that that's what it was. And this was my first time. I absolutely knew that's what it was. It was, rapid popping in succession. And there's just, it was terrible sound and very much, and then it just happened again and again. And the hardest thing was, at some point I knew we were safe. We had the police in our house, and I knew what was going on for, our family was safe, that it was across the street, but my heart was just breaking for the people that were inside. Every time I heard those gunshots, I just kept thinking of people's lives that were being taken, and it was awful.
Now, Kenny said that at one point you guys came out of the basement and I guess they started shooting again?
Yes. So we came up from, we tried, I think on 2 occasions, it seemed like things had sort of quieted down, and we just wanted to know, what was going on. I wanted to turn on the news and just kind of get an idea, and look out the window. But each time we tried to come up from the basement, there would be more shots. And my youngest son actually peeked out the window at one point and saw the police shooting, and he thought he saw one of the policemen get shot. So that was pretty terrible as well.
Yeah, he told me that was Nicholas, right?
Yeah, Nicholas, yeah.
So, if you guys, how do you deal with that? Obviously, that's something that nobody should have to see, let alone a 10-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. And and I'm still not 100% sure what he saw. I do know that 4 policemen were injured. Luckily, no police lost their lives today, but, just the fact that he's almost 11, he'll be 11 next week, and he had to see right out his front door so many weapons and so much active shooting. And in our own house, you're right, that's just really, really hard for anyone to deal with, much less a child. So I had a child that was not mine, who was also 16 here, and her poor mom was worried sick, as you can imagine. So she was down there. So that's 3 kids. And then we have a college student from Carnegie Mellon also staying with us right now. So she was with us too. So there was a total of 5 of us in the basement, and my husband, who was assisting the police upstairs. And yeah, we were all so afraid. I think the girls probably took it the worst. Nicholas, believe it or not, handled it with a lot of, sort of humor. It's so interesting how you react when there's a crisis. I don't think it's, like you said, I don't think it's really set in yet. Squirrel Hill is a very wonderful community of accepting people, a very diverse population, and a very supportive community. We are more than 50% Jewish, and I think that our Jewish friends and our non-Jewish friends were at the vigil tonight, all supporting one another. And the thing about this community is this is the kind of thing that will bind us stronger together and help us support each other more. I don't think that anyone here is deterred by these kind of hateful crimes. I think if anything, it reminds us of why we're better together. And I think going forward, we'll support, our friends who have lost loved ones, and we'll just, work harder to teach our children to not hate and to be accepting. I've told my kids that we are not going to be intimidated by fear. We might be a little bit nervous. It was an off-putting day, but we've sort of said prayers for all of these people, and we've set our minds on what we can do to make it better instead of concentrating on what has happened to us that was so bad. And I think that that's what you have to do to get past these sorts of things. There's nothing we can do about what happened, but we can think about ways to support our neighbors and to promote a non-hateful environment in our community. And I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just hold each other a little tighter and help the kids through it. I think they're going to go back to school, and I know both schools, Alderdice High School and St. Edmund's Academy, where my youngest attends, all plan to have counselors to talk to the kids in the area to try to help them make sense of something like this.